This week's episode is sponsored by the Breakthrough to Excellence book. This book will help guide the reader through overcoming self-doubt and fear and acquiring professional prosperity. In this book, it takes a deep dive with research, science, and real-life stories of women who courageously push past the fear to conquer their goals. You can find out more at www.breakthroughtoexcellence.com. Welcome to the Breakthrough to Excellence podcast. I'm Jasmine Haley, healthcare provider turned educator, entrepreneur, and startup strategist. Not too long ago, I was burnt out, overwhelmed, depressed, and full of fear from a toxic work environment. I created my business out of necessity to create a legacy I can be proud of today. It helps me transform the lives of women every single day to pursue their dreams and entrepreneurial goals. I created this podcast to share the empowering stories of entrepreneurial women, help you break through self-doubt to your greatness, and share business strategies to help you create a thriving and profitable business. If you are an emerging entrepreneur or business owner that wants to create the mindset needed to escape burnout, reclaim your personal power, and pursue your entrepreneurial dreams, this podcast is for you. Stay tuned and listen in. Welcome to another episode of the Breakthrough to Excellence podcast. I'm your host, Jasmine Haley. Today we're talking about the six-figure biz owner's most expensive problem. Some people think it's the systems, the ops, legal, marketing, mindset. They may even consider their team as the most expensive problem. But I'm going to share today what is the most expensive problem in a business owner's repertoire, so to speak, right? And really, I hope that you come into this episode with an open mind and considering how are you showing up for your business and what steps you need to do next to take it to the next level. I'm going to do this in a two-part series. First is just the introduction of it. And then I'm going to speak more in a separate episode on specific strategies for it. So I cannot wait to hear your thoughts on this topic and what you have seen in your own business or perhaps for your clients. Feel free to message me, share your thoughts. I love starting conversations about this and getting to the nitty-gritty of what's we need as entrepreneurs to take it to the next level. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? All right, this is a really great topic. I can't wait to cover it. These six-figure business owners' most expensive problem by Jasmine Haley. That's what our topic is today. And I was called to talk about this because I have been in the lab doing much needed work for myself and my team. A lot of things are structurally changing. I am welcoming in new clients into my Legacy Scaler program. And I am finding whether you are on the verge of moving your way towards six figures or you're already there, there's an expensive problem that we're not considering. So I want to know from you, tell me in the comments, what do you think is the most expensive problem your business has faced? Okay, so we have some options here. We have systems. Go ahead and drop a 1 in the comments if you think systems is your most expensive problem. The next is operations. Drop a 2 in the comments if you think operations is the most expensive problem. I listed out some other ones. I wrote them down here. Legal. Tell me if you think that is the most expensive problem you've dealt with. Type in 3 into the chat if that is what you have felt along your own journey. And then marketing. Do you think that's the most expensive problem that you've seen in your business or perhaps even in your client's business? Let me know and drop which one's marketing? 4 in the chat. And then finally, mindset. Do you think mindset is the most expensive problem in growing and scaling your business? Let me know in the chat. Go ahead and drop a number 5. So many of those things are things that often my clients come up and they're talking about it. I need to work on my systems. I have no flow. I don't have any time. I don't have this. I don't have that. Right? Oh, I love that. So we've got some ones. We've got 4. So we've got 1 for system 4. Someone said, ooh, 5 for the same reason, because it impacts all of them. Yes, people often think, all right, it's a mindset. It's all involved. But I'm going to really give you my humble opinion of what I've seen from working with clients. Whether I've been in the healthcare industry or the business industry, there's a common denominator between all of my clients. And the result is simply the most expensive problem is ourselves. It's you. YOU. Okay. It is you. And so go ahead and grab a mirror and say, hey, girl, hey. Because the most expensive problem is ourselves, y'all. And it's costing us so much. If you have been guilty of purchasing all of the things and all of the programs and all of the $27, $37 offers, which often can be great, right? They could definitely enhance our learning. But if you've been guilty of doing all of those things, right? Go ahead and drop a 6 in the chat. Because you are not alone, baby. I mean, there are many of us who have fallen prey to that. But unfortunately, it doesn't matter who it is that I work with. The problem often resides with us. So here's a quick pep talk today on understanding that you've got to get to the root of the problem. The rooter to the tutor is what my mother used to say. The rooter to the tutor. And the rooter to the tutor may be just you. You may be blocking yourself every single day by the choices that you're making from getting to the place that you need to be. So let me talk about some of the problems that will occur because of the you problem. Okay. You may lack clarity or you may lack knowledge. That's totally fine, right? You don't understand the foundational business principles that are necessary to be a CEO of your business. And therefore, your business continues to suffer in many ways, more than one. And that's the number one thing right there. The clarity and the lack of really having the foundational business knowledge. So what occurs? Well, that trickles down into everything else. It trickles down into your health. It trickles down into your relationships. It trickles down into your time, your balance, your prioritization in your own life. It affects your happiness. It affects how fulfilled you are. And eventually, more than likely, it's affecting them pockets and them coins. And so what happens is a lot of times you meet people who are scaling or growing and they are at the point where they're doing all of the things and they're like, this just can't be it. I can't breathe. I can't take care of myself. I'm neglecting my children. I am not spending time with those who I love. My bank account is negative again. I've got another collection fee because there's no money to pay, right? I'm doing all of these things and yet I don't see my business coming into fruition. Why am I working 50 to 60 hours a week? I've had a client that was working that many hours. Have I been guilty of that? Absolutely. All of those things can happen very easily if we don't have a handle on ourselves and knowing who we are, but most importantly, in understanding how critical our role is of being a leader and a CEO of a thriving business. It's going to require you to make difficult decisions. It's going to require you to have uncomfortable conversations. It's going to require you to ferociously protect your most valuable asset, right? Your time. And many of us know that. I'm not saying anything new underneath the sun, but why are we still in a world of chaos within our own business? Why are we still overwhelmed? Why are we still burnt out? We didn't leave our jobs and come into business hoping that we would come into our own business and be dealing with the same issues that we had before. So I left my corporate or academic world because I was completely overwhelmed. I was burnt out. I was sick. And I certainly didn't leave that environment to come back into one that I created for my own self. So there's so many things that we have to consider. So I want you to understand and really dig down deep and figure out, what are my motivators? What's going to help me change the game for my business? What's going to help me take it to the next level? Why am I continuously holding myself back? And a lot of times, these were some of the conversations I would have with myself. And I would say things like, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough this. I don't have enough that. I don't have enough of X, Y, and Z to get to where I want to be. And what I needed to understand was that I had all of the tools necessary to get there. And at that point in time, it was okay for me to say, I'm not quite sure on how the destination will occur, right? I don't know how I'm going to get to that last point, but I know for sure that I need to make the investment, whether it was coaching. So for me, it was coaching, or whether it was me investing the time to protect my boundaries. I needed to make that difficult decision. So what's going to be it for you? Like, what's it for you? What is your motivator? Do you want to make more money? Do you want to save more of your time for spending with the ones that you love? Do you want to improve your marriage, right? Because when we're not serving as a CEO, right, the chaos within our own business starts to affect the relationships that are important to us. So are you in a position where you want to improve your marital status? You want to improve your relationship with your children? You want more time with your kids? You want to protect your legacy? You want to build and protect for your family? You want to finally feel fulfilled in your business, and you want to stop stressing over living client to client. You move from paycheck to paycheck and now client to client, and full of worry because you fully haven't stepped into your CEO role, or you don't even know what exactly that looks like. So the most expensive problem I have seen from my clients and in the work that I do is often ourselves. It's often ourselves. Because who's responsible for the growth of our business? It's us. Who's the leader? It's us, right? Who's making those strategic decisions or lack of strategy, lack of strategic decisions? It's us. And so what I want you all to do is, number one, give yourself some grace and understanding that we don't have all the answers, and that is okay, right? That is why there's people like myself and many other of my colleagues who I adore, who specialize in the work that they're doing to help you put those puzzle pieces together so you can just breathe. You can excel. You can be in a place where you're building towards your business legacy. The second thing I want you to remember after you give yourself some grace is go ahead and take a pause if you need it. Right? Because a lot of us who are in the stage of chaos in our business and we're not reaching our goals, there's a level of frustration that comes along with it. So it's okay to rest. But when you come back, please take some sort of action. Take action if that means that, you know what? I realize that I haven't taken the time to map out exactly what my goals are for my business. Sit down, write them out, get clear about what direction you need to take in order to reach your goals, and be honest with yourself and understand that to get towards building towards your business legacy, to get to a place where you can spend more time with the people that you love and also still have a thriving and profitable business, requires you to make difficult decisions. But I tell you from my own experiences and that of my clients, when you're willing to make those hard decisions, there's so many beautiful things that could come into fruition. So let's start with you. A lot of you are saying, oh, it's the systems, it's the marketing. Yeah, absolutely. All of that is a huge part of that. But there's something within your own choices that you're making every single day that's not doing the necessary work to really establish that business structure and that business foundation. And one of the hardest parts for most of us to come to terms with, looking in that mirror and say, hey girl, hey, I see you, right? But see how the decisions that we're making are impacting the business success or the business challenges that we're facing. And there are so many of us that are suffering behind the scenes when we don't have to. We don't have to be that way. That's why I love creating the CEO roadmap for my clients and getting to a place where they know strategically where they're going for the next 12 months. They also know where they should be putting their focus so they could be utilizing their time towards what matters and not so much what doesn't, right? Because we're not guaranteed another day here on this earth. And we want to make sure that every single day that we live it in a very meaningful way. And we focus our time on what matters. My internal life is just as important as my life here on earth, as well as my life that I spend with my children. And so if that's valuable to you, if building a business legacy is important to you, if not just having an impact or profitability is important to you, then you've got to make the necessary decisions as a CEO and no longer treat your business as a side hustle. And this goes even for our six-figure business owners, because we're bringing in the money, right? But are you serving and protecting your time ferociously as a CEO? And if your answer is no, then you know that there's some work that we have to do. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining me. And I hope that this provided some encouragement to you. And remember, I'll be back up here next week. I cannot wait to serve you all. And I hope you all have an awesome day. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the show. Dive in deeper by visiting the show notes for this episode or listening to more episodes on JasmineHaley.com. If you found value in the show, share with a friend or leave us a review. I'll see you next time.